Hi, so in this video we're going to be automating a reconnaissance scan using bash script. So bash scripting. Bash is the default command line shell for most Linux operating systems, and bash scripting is basically just writing a series of commands into a file so that instead of typing them one by one, you can just execute them once, all the commands in the file, so in the bash script in this case. So this is a huge time saver, especially if you're doing penetration testing where you're running the same tools over and over again. And yeah, so let's get into it. So I'm using VirtualBox here, and the virtual machine that I'm using is a Kali Linux machine. This one is from the Net Academy. And so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing this using some containers, a web exploit container. So the first thing you can do is to open up a terminal and check which containers are available. And you can check this by tapping containers, then checking. So the container that I want to scan is this one. So this is the one that we'll be exploiting. Gravemind 10.6.6.23. So these are some of containers here in WebSploit, and yeah. So before we do anything, we need to confirm that we can actually reach the machine. And so I'm going to send a quick ping to make sure that we have connectivity. And you do that by ping 10.6.6.23. Yeah, so our server is up now. So the bash script that we're going to write, we're going to do this using mousepad. And so I already have a file here, and the next thing that I'm going to do is to specify the file type. And so this is a script, and bash scripts have an extension of .sh, so we're going to use a .sh extension here. And so I'm going to take you through the code now. So the first line here is it's called a shebang line. Shebang. So shebang. This line tells the system that this file should be executed using bash. So this bash is like an interpreter. So this is a file location in Linux. So what this line is telling the code is that this code is going to be executed using an interpreter, the bash that is in this location. So the first thing we're going to do is to check if the IP address of the target has been entered. So this is the block that will handle the user input. So when you run a bash script, anything that you type after the script name will get passed into the program as a positional parameter. So this $1 here is the positional parameter. So this is just whatever the user types at the first argument, which in this case will be our target IP address. The -z flag is used to check whether the value is empty. So if the user runs the script without providing a target, so in this case the IP address, this condition is true. And if the condition is true, this is what will be outputted to the standard output, so to the terminal, and it will exit. The exit one stops the script. Exit code 1 just means that the script ended due to some kind of error. So next is our else part of this block. Now in the else part, this is what happens if the user provides an input. So we have our target, so it's going to tell us the target IP address. and then it's going to tell us that mmap is running, and then we have this nmap command that is going that we're going to use to run the scan. So this is the nmap command that we're going to use, as you can see. And so nmap-sv, this -sv flag basically tells nmap to do a service version scan. So it's not just going to tell us which ports are open, it's going to tell us which ports are open, and it's going to try and figure out what service and version is running on each port. So this is really useful if you want to know what you're dealing with. And so this operator tells the program to save the script to save the output into this file, a file called result.txt. Yeah. So when the scan is complete, it's going to tell us that the scan is complete, and the fi is just, it closes our if statement. So the if statement started here, and then it ends here. Now, so the purpose of this scan is to check for SMB and SMB shares, and we're going to use enum for Linux for that. Now, the first thing we're going to do is to run an enum for Linux and to see if port 445 is open. Port 445 is the port that runs the SMB. Yeah, so the SMB is a protocol that's used in Linux. It's used in Linux and Windows machines to share files over a network. Yeah. So the first thing you do is use grep. If grep 445 result, if grep 445 result.txt, so that checks if we have the number 445 in our result.txt file, and after checking that, the result is piped into a second grep, which is so grep -iq open. The I just makes it case insensitive, so it's going to check everything without regarding the cases, and the -q tells it to run silently. Basically, it suppresses the standard output. Then, so if it finds that there's a line 445 and there's also a line open, that there's a port 445 that is open, this is what it's going to do then. So enum for Linux, the shu -s, then the user input, and then the results will be appended into this file, result.txt. So enum for Linux is a tool specifically designed to enumerate information. So to enumerate information from SMB shares. So it can be used to pull usernames, shared folders, group info, and other things. So the flag we're using in this case is -shu and -s. So the shu enumerates for users, and -s enumerates the shares. If if it is found, this is the message that is going to be outputted to the terminal, and the results will be saved there. So if not, so if this line was not true, then it's going to tell us that the SMB share port is not found. So if it finds that the port is not open or it's not there, and yeah, so this closes our if statement. So this if statement. So next I'm going to save it. I will save it as gravemind bash. Let's call it gravemind bash .sh. Yeah. So yeah, and here's our file, gravemind bash.sh. As you can see, it's just a normal file. To make it executable, we're going to do change mode into executable, and then we give it the name of our file, which is gravemind. And when I check the files available again, you can see the colors change, and this means that this is an executable file. So the first thing we're going to do, let's try and run the bash script with an error. We can do that by, So we can run gravemind.sh without giving it an input. So from the code, as you can see from the code, we need an input. We need an input from the user, an argument from the user that we can pass into it to scan. So what we're going to scan. And when I run that, so it gives me the error message. So the correct usage is supposed to be this. So recon.sh. So this is just our recon file, our executable file, and then our IP address. I should actually change this name. I'm going to change this to gravemind. Gravemind.bash. Yeah. So let me save that. So we can run gravemind.bash, but this time with the correct input, the correct IP address, and see if we can get the results. So it's running nmap. Yeah, so it's printing out the output that we had specified in the code. So target is our IP address. So the IP address here is this IP address is this input. So the $1 just says that it is anything that the user passes as an argument. Yeah. So the scan is complete and the results have been saved in results.txt. Okay. It's doing this second part now. So after doing the scan, the code is in 2 blocks. After doing the scan, the first scan, the files are saved in results.txt, and after saving this, we're going to have the second part, which checks in our results.txt file if we have port 445 open. And so that's what it has done here. So the scan is complete, the results are saved into .txt, and then the samba was found, our SMB share, and the result was added to result.txt. The next thing I'm going to do is to check and I'm going to use now to check the results.txt. Yeah. So yeah, this is the result of our scan, and as you can see here, this is the port we're interested in. This one. Yeah. So yeah, that was a simple but genuinely useful recon script, and one command, and it just handled everything, the scanning and the enumeration automatically, which I think is really nice. So in the next video, in the part 2 of this specific video, we're going to take what this script has found and actually exploit one of those SMB shares. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed if you like the sound of that, so you don't miss that one. If this video was helpful, give it a like, and yeah, and just give it a like.